Greetings commanders and welcome back to another Warpath video. My name is Eagle and I'm super excited because the World Cup is starting tomorrow, and man oh man, this event over here is something special. Now this event represents the World Cup, and obviously there's many football fans around the world, or soccer, whatever you want to call it, but this event over here is actually super exciting because it's kind of a betting event, but I mean you can get those for free, so not technically you're not betting with money. But the thing that they interpreted over here is actually very impressive because this is a full representation of the matches that will happen. This is live. These events are like, these matches over here are not just predicted throughout the game. This is actual matches happening. And as you can see, this goes all the way to the finals, which means that this event is going to stay for about 30 days, which is the whole duration of the World Cup. And it's going to be super fun. But there's a lot of things to know about this event before you even start betting. There's a lot of people that already bet it, and I hope you guys don't make this like a lot of mistakes throughout the betting. I will tell you exactly how this event works, what are the rewards that you can get from this event. In addition to that, what are the calculations for betting that you will be getting so that you can gain more rewards and eventually get much better at the game in terms of development. Of course, not many of you understandably are football fans or interested in the game itself, but you can always follow the overall predictions within the game, or just read some news online to see which kind of team will potentially perform better and which one is actually predicted to win. Now, without further ado, let's get right into this video. I hope you like it. All right, so to kick things off, we have 4 screens that you can see over here. The match betting screen, which is basically where you will be able to bet on who will win, and basically if the match is a tie. A tie means that both teams will score exactly the same amount of goals. I'm just explaining this for everyone, for all the levels. I understand that football fans already know probably the majority of these things, but for people who don't know, this is basically how this works. So if we click, for example, at the Netherlands over here, and you can bet these event icons that you can see, which are the betting tokens, and these tokens you can bet exactly how much you want, and you can bet basically to go all in on one team or distribute them on multiple teams, which I definitely recommend because you always don't know the outcomes. Like, there has been many kind of surprising events, let's say, in football history that actually changed the outcomes. But when it comes to teams like, for example, England versus Iran, that's why you see a lot of people are actually betting on England, because even though I'm Arabian and I do support that Arabian teams actually reach the World Cup, but for instance, England versus Iran, probably there's a high percentage that England would actually win. That's why you probably need to bet on England for this case over here. But for instance, Qatar versus Ecuador, this is a very tight match over here, and you can see the number of people who actually betted on this and the number of tokens that are on each side. So basically this over here is the number of tokens betted on that team, and this is the total number of people. And in the middle over here, you can see how many people betted on the ties, which means that these people betted on like these two teams will be tying at that specific match. You can see also the timings over here exactly within UTC numbers, and this is basically how the whole, let's say, event scoring works. Now let's see exactly where you get those tokens. There are multiple sources where you can actually get those. The first source, which is like 2 sources that are free to play. The first one is the daily missions. There are some daily missions, extremely simple, spending energy, reaching daily goals of activity, and some jurisdiction rewards. They're extremely simple, they're not that hard. You can get tons of coins from over here. And there's also the weekly missions, which are very, very good. They give you a lot of rewards and a lot of tokens, and also in order to bet on them as well. So these are the weekly missions over here, and these are the daily ones as well. There's also a store where you can actually exchange those tokens. But before we go into the store, let me tell you the third source where you can actually get those tokens from. This is basically the shop. There are multiple packages, of course. Warpath wants to benefit a little bit from this event. To be fairly honest, this is one of the events that I support them actually getting some money back from it, because they actually made a really cool event. I haven't expected them to do something like this. I expected them to just drop a base like a base skin event or whatnot, like the ones that they usually do on Halloweens or on holidays, but they did a full-on betting event, which is like kind of really interesting, to be fairly honest. And these are basically the packages. You start at a high value, and you can see that this package probably gives you the highest value, and then you move on to higher values when you go to these packages. But to be fairly honest with you guys, I'm not a big fan of buying those packages. It's up to you. They're not really high value for development, but if you do bet really well and if you win a lot of bets, then definitely you can pay off their values that they are presented right over here. So let's go back and check right now what are these, where you can actually spend those tokens. Well, there's a store over here and there's multiple items where you can actually exchange those tokens for those items. And as you can see, some of these icons are actually a little bit expensive, but some others aren't that expensive. So generally speaking, the best one that I've seen so far is this one over here. This one is for refined components, and everyone knows how hard it is to actually get those. So the first thing that I would highly recommend you guys spending the tokens on are refined tokens, but I wouldn't spend those right now. I would spend these on timings, because let me explain how you can actually get more tokens in order to actually win more. First things first, there are some rules for this event in order to win and in order to get stuff or get more tokens. The first rule is that you would need to win the bit in order to actually get tokens or more tokens. So when you win a bit, what will happen is that you will get your wager back, which is basically, for instance, let's say we put 10k bits on this one, on the Netherlands, that they will actually win. Then we will, if they actually win, at the end of that day, we will get the 10k. And then what will happen is that our 10k will be divided by the total betting that has happened over here. So that means if this betting over here was 100k, that means we will be getting 10%. But 10% of what? Then 10% you'll be getting this of the total that of ties and victories, or the total amount of bets of ties and victories that you see over here. So for simplicity, let's say that the ties and victories has 50k tokens betted on them. Then you will be able to actually get 10% of those, which means that you will be getting 5k tokens. And those 5k tokens, along with your original wager, which is 10k, all this you will be getting by mail at that end of day. So you'll be getting a total of 15k tokens once the Netherlands win, if that was exactly the equation over here. And for more information about the equation, you can actually check it right over here. This is exactly where they explain that part in the system. Now, if you lose your betting, you will be refunded 20% of the total amount of tokens that you have actually betted on that specific team. So that's why it's actually best to split your bettings and make sure that the other party has also a good percentage. Because let's say, for instance, if I'm betting on England right now, and if I bet that those 500 tokens, my percentage that I will be getting from this is extremely low. And the reason for that is because there are not many bits going to Iran or the Thai over here, which means that if I get like 1% of those bits, then it will be like, I don't know, 50 tokens, which are still pretty good, but not that much. But the matches that I would bet on are, for instance, Ecuador and Qatar. I would go for higher risk matches, but this will give me way more tokens. So for instance, if I get like Ecuador, if I bet 10k tokens on Ecuador and Ecuador actually won, then I will be getting all from this section over here, let's say around 12 to 13k tokens, besides the 10k tokens that I originally betted on. So this one over here is more higher risk, higher reward for the betting. So if you are more of a risk taker, then I would definitely recommend this match over here. And this is basically how it works. So basically, the more closer the matches are, the more you will be able to win. And this will happen significantly when you reach the knockout stage, which are probably somewhere around, I'm not sure exactly when it starts, but in the knockout stage, there won't be any ties. They will be winners only, winners and losers. So in that specific case, the betting will get really exciting, because a lot of teams or a lot of players will be bidding on both teams, and there will be a lot of tokens on basically on the table to be able to bet. So if you want to wait till that moment as well, it's a little bit more riskier, but the rewards are much higher, and you can definitely get a lot of income basically, or tokens, and get a lot of value from the store just betting on these matches. Now you can see online, there's many websites that do these kind of things or predictions, and they're usually quite accurate, to be fairly honest with you guys, but it always then relies on the actual match itself. And as I said, when you're bidding in those big matches that you can see over here, then the winner is most likely going to be England over here, but you won't be getting much tokens. If you go for much higher risks, which are like, for instance, Qatar versus Ecuador, then you will definitely be able to get more rewards, but definitely it's much higher because there's a good chance that Qatar might actually win that match as well. I hope I explained this in a more comprehensive way, but there's also one more thing that I wanted to tell you guys about, which is the round rewards. The more tokens that you bet, the more rewards are you actually getting. So as you can see over here, if you bet a total of 20,000, then you will be able 20,000 tokens, you will be able to get all these rewards over here. And this is your betting record, just to track which matches that you actually bet on. And finally, you have a ranking over here. You have a single match and you have an all match ranking. The way that these are presented is that, for instance, if someone drops in like 20 or 50k bits on one match and they actually won a big chunk, they will be presented over here. And if the others, if you do that for multiple matches, then you'll be presented on all matches leaderboard, which is kind of a fun way to see. And one more thing is that this is not server specific. So the number of players that you see over here, the number of bets that you see over here is across the whole game, which is very, very fun. This is a global event for the whole game. So, hey, let me know in the comments below what matches that you think will be winning for the next 3 days that we see right over here. And afterwards, let me know exactly, guys. Let's keep this comment section alive and let's see exactly which matches that you think for the future will happen. And let's help each other in terms of the bettings, which ones will be actually winning and which ones won't, so that the ones that don't know exactly much about football can actually benefit from that as well. I hope you guys did like this video and this event. And of course, there's gonna be another event for this one over here, the Top Squad event review. You have the Football Mine, which is like an exclusive decoration. And of course, you have the newly added base skin that we can see over here. Let me show you that new base skin for the game itself, the Pitch Perfect base skin right now over here. And this is how it looks like. It looks like a cool stadium, actually. The stadium looks good. It goes up and then whatnot. It's a pretty cool one. And of course, you have the flying ball, which is an air attack, and then the knuckle or knuckle ball, I guess, kick, and that's basically the goal skin right over here, which is kind of pretty cool. All these kind of new stuff that will be added very soon to the game. I think they're actually doing a really good job with this event over here specifically, and I hope you guys did like it. Hey, if you did like, maybe throw us a like down there and consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll definitely see you on the next video. Bye bye.